Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so thrilled to have on the show country music singer, songwriter, entertainer, and pianist, Reyna Roberts.
Hi.
Reyna, thanks for coming on the show. You know what? I listened to some of your songs, you know, your early songs that you'd come out with, and now you've got your brand new album out.
I do.
Bad Girl Bible Volume 1. And it's like, but it's like you're making such big waves in country music in such a short span of time.
I appreciate that. It's all my team and my family and just hard work. You know, I'm thankful.
But I mean, like even before this album came out, and we were talking, you know, before we came down to the studio, how much I love these songs on here. You know, it's just you've got the country sound, but you've got some rock in there.
Had to have rock in there.
You've got your Beyonce in there, but you got your Gretchen Wilson in there. You know what I'm saying?
You've been studying. You've been studying. I love that.
But I mean, it's like I love even the swampy country sound.
That's my favorite type of country.
Yeah, like on Louisiana and everything like that, and Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But you know what I also noticed? I'm sure a lot of your fans do. You some of these songs to me open up with almost a gospel feel.
I love that too. That I wanted to kind of incorporate all the music that has really moved me and try to implement them in the best way, but in a way that that's cohesive and it doesn't feel all over the place.
Right.
So.
This album was recorded in multiple locations, but a lot of it here in Nashville.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say, because I've had about 7 producers on this album. I know. Apparently that's crazy and not normal.
And it doesn't sound like it.
Thank you. That was like that was the goal. Because people would ask how many writers and producers were on the album, who was the producer, and I was like, oh, there's 7 on here.
But it sounds so cohesive.
Thank you. That was intentional. I wanted to make sure that people would have a better and broader understanding of the musical influences that I have, but also that don't feel all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you achieved it.
Thank you.
But I mean, you've done so well. You know, I was looking at, I was going through your Spotify list.
Yeah.
And listening to some of that, it's like going, you have a lot of plays and a lot of fans on Spotify.
Thank you. That makes me happy. I'm just trying my best to get to make music that people connect with. That's my main goal. That's what makes me happy when other people like what I create.
Well, and obviously a lot of people like it because you've already had songs, featured, with the NFL.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And with ESPN.
I get
Don't
shy.
be embarrassed. Why? I mean, you know how much people try to achieve these things.
Oh yeah, actually before ESPN used Stomping Grounds on Monday Night Football, my mom and I, we were actually calling people at ESPN and sending emails hey, because I'm not a known artist, but I'm I think this song would be great for Monday Night Football.
And apparently they did too.
Yeah, thankfully, yep. So that was really God's timing and great timing. So.
Well, I think what's so awesome too is that having your family around you too, with your mom and your dad be a part of this.
Oh, for sure, we're a team, we're a unit.
Yeah, but it says so much, and certainly with Stomping Grounds and everything too, to where it's that song has done so well for you. But let's talk about this too. You've shared the stage with Reba.
Yeah.
And been out on tour with Jamie Johnson.
Yes, I love both of them, and honestly, it was such an honor too because people don't know who I am. I'm a growing artist, so they didn't have to put me on their platforms, but they're just genuinely kind people.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm just blessed and grateful that they let me do that.
Well, I think it's so, but also, like I told you before we came down to the studio, what wowed me and what continues to wow me on this new album is how big and powerful your voice is.
Thank you.
And I think that's what's bringing people to the table.
Yeah.
And bringing you to the table with a seat because of your voice and your talent.
Thank you.
Just natural gift, and you're just delivering it. But also, I think what's cool is that you're integrating all your influences, Reyna.
For sure.
And a lot of people don't do that. Sometimes, particularly if you have, the labels going, you have to be this and you have to be that. It seems like you're really being able to come at this and be yourself and true to and even your dad was saying the rock influences.
All the influences. And honestly, that was a really big part of my self-discovery as an artist because I love so many different genres of music, and I write I can write rock, I can write country, I can write pop or hip hop or trap, and so it was difficult to kind of hone in on what I wanted to show people. But I was like, you know what, let me just put all these genres together, and that's that's what I'm showing people.
But I think you're able to meld them within the songs even, because listening to the individual tracks, I mean, the whole album is amazing. And I know you've already got certain tracks rolled out, and all the music videos you were talking about.
Yes. I do the most. I was like, I want to have a photo shoot for every single song, so I can tell a story for every song.
And every song has a story, but you hear things like we were talking about, like with the harmonica or with the piano parts in there, and then it may move into more of like a hip hop or a more, or a more rock feel.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And obviously your fans think it's great too.
Yeah. That makes me so happy that you say that, because this has taken like at least a year and a half of just like planning. Like I have this huge notebook. I'm like, okay, this is the Bad Girl Bible album. And then I would put like specifically for this song, I want this harmonica here. I want my family's voices to be in here. I want cicadas, like to make you feel like you're out in the country. Like it was, so I'm glad that you can hear.
Well, and I think it's powerful also because, as you mentioned, some of these songs open up with like an organic sound.
Yeah.
And it's like going, oh, that grabs you.
Yeah.
Because it's not just kicking in with the song. It's like you've got, like you said, cicadas or whatever. You got people talking, and it makes you want to go back. It's like, well, I want to listen to the intro again.
That's how I feel. I'm like, the intro and the outro are like my favorite parts. I wanted it to be an experience, like you're actually in the song, not just just turning something on, but hopefully you feel like you're in that environment.
Well, and splitting your time between Nashville and California, and you were originally born in Alaska.
I was.
Because your parents were in the military, so you were traveling everywhere. And but you said also for your creative stuff that you're doing with your songs and your music, you feel that the California and Nashville give you two different flavors.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But that's the great part is like, I didn't really meet too many people in California that write the same way that I do.
Right.
Because I'm more of a ballad writer, honestly, than anything else, because I play piano. So.
And you shine on the ballads.
Thank you. Those are my favorite to write. Like I love the fun, crazy, wild songs that are like, oh, she's on the run, she's getting chased by blah blah blah. But the ballads are the things that like matter most to me. And when I got to Nashville, I was like, oh, people write very similar to the way that I do. Like I'll start by like a storyline or just like a song title and then build the whole story out from there, and then we can add tracks instead of in California. I feel like the sessions I were a part of were mostly like top lining.
Gotcha.
And I was like, ooh, that's not something I'm great at.
But also, I mean, how smart for you as a songwriter, up and coming, artist, to where you know your strengths, because a lot of people take some years to figure that out.
Yeah.
And so if you can figure that out now. And
it's a strong start.
It is a strong start. I mean, also, it's not a bad thing when Mickey posts out, your video.
I love her.
You do a cover song, and then Mickey posts your video, and everybody goes, "Well, who is Reyna Roberts?"
Yeah, that's honestly the lift that started me to be able to do things like this, like be here with you and actually create an album. And Mickey is one of my close friends. It's crazy because at the time we didn't know each other. She just heard me sing and she put me on her platform, and I love that woman. She is an amazing woman, and she has the kindest heart and spirit. And I thank her all the time, because I tell her, like, if it wasn't for her putting me on her platform, I wouldn't be in this moment here now.
Right. But she also did that because of your gifts with your voice and everything else, and what you brought to that, and that's why she showcased you.
Yeah.
For the right reasons. So we got to talk about this. Obviously, viewers want to know more about you.
Right.
And so you started singing at only 3 years old, right?
I was actually singing before I could even speak.
Well, you did karaoke then.
Yeah, I did. That was the first time
in front of an audience with karaoke.
Yeah, I don't know what possessed my mom to do it. She was like, let me just take my 3-year-old to this karaoke bar. We were in Alaska, and I still remember it now. I was on a stool just like this one. She put me on top of it, and she was like, what do you want to sing? And at the time, Lady Marmalade was my favorite song, and so
still an amazing song.
I love that song.
Patti LaBelle, come on.
I actually didn't even hear the original version until later.
Okay.
I had heard Christina Aguilera with Pink,
one, which is great too.
And Maya. But yeah, she was like, come on, this is your time to shine.
Well, and I've got to ask you about this then. When you really kicked in with the songwriting, how was wrestling a catalyst? Because, I mean, Most people that wrestle, they're not going, I think I need to write a song. How for you, Reyna, was that a catalyst to write?
You know what? I had a crush on my wrestling captain, and that was the catalyst that, I had the biggest crush on my wrestling captain, and one day I was just starting to, I had been doing like cover songs and learning how to like sing and play on piano.
Right.
And at the time I was like, well, if other people can like write their songs, like I want to do that. And so I started writing poems first, and then yeah, he was like one of the first inspirations that let me, my first song that I recorded in the studio. I want to say I was 16 maybe.
Wow.
But yeah, and I showed him the song. I was like, I wrote the song about you. I hope you like it. And then my I don't even know how this happened, but my wrestling coach, he played it for the entire team. It was a thing. It was a thing for the rest of the season.
Right.
People would just break out in the song, and
that has to make you feel good though, because now, I mean, years later, and you're singing, at NASCAR. Here, doing the national anthem in Nashville. You're doing the national anthem in Austin, Texas.
yeah.
Kind of a leap from the wrestling team.
It was just a little bit, because it's funny enough, I actually started doing like the national anthem like before tournaments. So I would go to the wrestling tournament, sing the national anthem, then I would go wrestle whoever I had to wrestle for that day. So that was where it started, and then now we're a few years later. We got a little bit bigger.
So
audiences.
so no wrestling involved in the new shows. Then. I just want
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. I'm just wanted to get some clarity for viewers with that.
That makes sense, yeah, because I keep forgetting, like, people, they're like, they're wrestling, and they're like, what possessed you to wrestle? And I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I just thought it looked great. I don't know what in my heart possessed me to do it, because I'm the most clumsy, awkward person that there is. I trip over air. And I have no idea what made me just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna wrestle.
So what you're saying is, though, down the road, this could be part of the Reyna Roberts stage show.
Oh, you know what?
Or possibly, like a big, wrestling event.
I would definitely do that.
And you are the band for the wrestling event.
The crazy part is, for that song we were talking about the one I wrote about my wrestling captain.
Right.
I did a music video for that, which you cannot find anywhere now.
Oh,
but
or can we?
Or can you? So like deep dive. And I have wrestling in that video. It's all about me having feelings for my captain.
That's so awesome though, because I mean, like you and I were talking to, Reyna, and I think it's incredible how you've progressed with this. But the honesty. I mean, just like with your new album, the same thing with that. Back as a teenager, the honesty in this new album, to where you can hear it in your voice. You can hear it in the song. So, and we were talking about the one song, compared to what Charlie Daniels did.
Yes, I love that song. It's called "Don't Waste a Prayer." Yes.
Which "Don't Waste a Prayer" sounds so good.
I'm so happy you like it. I love, because a lot of people ask me about like if I actually love country music, or like why I decided to do country music. I grew up on all genres of music, and that song has always inspired me, and I wanted to write a song where this person has to fight their way through hell and get to the other side, and that's what "Don't Waste a Prayer" is.
Right.
So yeah.
But I mean, it goes back to the honesty. When
I'm
you're
a
doing
very
these songs.
person.
No, but I mean, I think it shows in your voice and how you're delivering the songs. And also playing piano, because you've been trained in piano.
I have, yeah.
I mean, and let's talk about your vocal coach too. I mean, you started with vocal training at 18.
I was gonna say, like, I've never really had a like specific system of like vocal training, which I actually really, really need. But I've had one coach, and throughout the years, he's been able to train me well enough where I would be able to like do riffs and runs and get a little bit better. But I never had like an actual like consistent kind of training like I did with piano.
Right. But I think also, I mean, a lot of times, don't you think, with the vocal coaches, and obviously I've never had one, and desperately need one, it's to where it helps with the breathing a lot. Because I mean, because I mean, listening to your songs, even your previous songs before this album, to where your voice is just huge.
Thank you.
And I mean, and that takes proper breathing to be able to hit the notes and be on key.
Honestly, I don't even think it was necessarily what is allowed me to do that is listening to my favorite artists like Christina Aguilera and Beyonce and Yolanda Adams and Chris Stapleton, Carrie Underwood, and listening to them and being like, how do I hit those notes? And just keep practicing their songs or Evanescence until I'm able to just hit those notes exactly. And that's where I got it from, just being like, I want to do that and listening to it over and over and over until I can actually do those notes and riffs.
Well, you know, I told you this too before we came in the studio. With the new album, it seems like so many of these tracks would work like with TV and film.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, because you're telling stories in them, and I'm like going, I could really hear this like in a TV show or you know, a film or something, where it's like, well, yeah, there's Reyna Roberts.
Thank you. I think it's probably because like for me, when I say I'm a storyteller, like I get inspiration not just from my personal life, but by reading books and watching movies and TV shows, because I'm a really big nerd, and so. That's how, so it makes sense because a lot of the songs I'm writing are based on like TV shows that I'm watching. Like I'll see an episode and I'm like, oh my goodness, that made me feel so much. Let me go write this song.
Well, and also it's not a bad thing to where CMT is releasing your music and your videos.
I love CMT. I love Leslie Fram over there. That whole
They love you.
I love them too. I mean, as soon as I got to Nashville, they've been huge supporters. Like they really gave me their platform and like just launched things for me and put me in so many rooms that I wasn't able to get in before.
And I got to brag on you too. In the past 3 years, you know, being, you know, with Amazon and Artist to Watch, I mean, all these different levels, you know, from 2021 through 2022, everybody's saying, here's an artist to watch and listen to.
Yeah.
And now it's set on the Rockin' Review, so it has to be true.
That has to be true. It's definitely true now. Which I'm not just saying this, but I'm so thankful for being here because it's my first time even doing this type of interview. So I'm
You're
honored.
so natural, and the way you do your social media and your fans on social media. I mean, wow.
Practice.
Okay, I got to bring this up there. I know we don't know the definitive date and stuff, but I've heard rumors that you may be playing the Ryman Auditorium in January.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I think that sounds right.
Is someone opening for you then, or how's it, you know?
I cannot confirm or deny.
How amazing is that?
Oh, awesome. Especially because when I first got here, people were like, have you been to the Ryman? I've been to the Ryman once, but they would tell me all these stories. And I'm like, well, I'm going to play at the Ryman. And it's
well, you know what the next step is after that then?
What is it?
Well, you have to play the Opry then.
It's the Opry.
It's, yeah. You've already done the Bluebird and everything. So Bluebird, and then now the Ryman, and then Opry.
Yep.
Just saying.
I agree. It's kind of funny
Seems
because
kind of obvious to me.
I've been able to tour with Reba and Jamie, but I haven't done the Opry yet, and I want to do the Opry.
And you realize you said that just like it was like I've toured with Reba and Jamie.
I don't mean to say it casually.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. By the way, I say it like with all like the things in my
I know, but
heart.
I mean, but it's like me going like, you know, well, yeah, you know, I was hanging out with my friend Jim. It's
Jim
like, you know,
who?
yeah, exactly, you know, but everybody knows Reba and Jamie Johnson. A little different, Reyna.
Yeah, that's fair.
A little fair. You know?
Yeah. The first thing, when I saw Reba too, oh my goodness, I saw her and I was like, you look so good. I want to throw money on you. Fancy. And thankfully she thought that was really funny.
Oh my goodness. That is incredible. Well, I know that with the new album out now, which is Volume 1.
Yes, sir.
Bad Girl Bible Volume 1, which I tell you what, and I heard also, we were talking about this, it may be coming out on vinyl. We can neither confirm nor deny. But it
Maybe
is
red.
But it is all over digital platforms. And Volume 2 is already in the works for 2024.
Yeah, honestly, I had so many songs. My team was like, let's just split it up into Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're like, don't give everything all at once. Maybe just like split it up first. And I was like, that makes sense. I was just so inspired and I was writing so many songs. And they were like, yes, but let's just hold off a little bit.
I think at a point you're gonna have to do theme albums too.
Oh, I do.
To where it's like, you know, to where it'll be totally like, you know, because now you're like merging all of your influences. But at a point, it's like going, Reyna Roberts, heavy metal. You know, just like, you know, it's like
Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if Pat Boone can do it, you can do it. You know, and then you do like your hip hop album, and then you do like your traditional country album.
Yep.
You know, and then, you know, when you're playing your shows, it's like, okay, what are you gonna get? It's like you're gonna get like,
all of it.
All of it.
That's like what I want to do. I want to be able to. I want to have a kind of career where I can do those kind of things because they're all authentic. They're all me.
Right.
So yeah, I just want to make music that people fall in love with.
I think you're doing that already. And also you're going to be like at fashion shows and all sorts of cool
Oh yeah,
stuff.
LA Fashion Week, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, you're going to have to do the, like, also, you've got so much going on.
I just did my first runway at New York Fashion Week, which was, I was so nervous, y'all. I was so scared. I was like, all it takes is just one little trip and I'm out. Like, yeah.
No trips though.
No trips. It was good. It was good.
See?
I made it successfully.
How incredible. You got
you.
like multiple careers going.
Right? I'm just, you know what? I want to have a runway at one point when I get to, you know, do my own shows. That's definitely like the catwalk
Yeah.
Beyonce does. I want to
Totally.
do that.
Do your little walk on the catwalk?
Yep.
That was a
I
great
practiced in I don't know if I told you this earlier, but I'm so clumsy, and because I want heels to be a part of like the persona in the brand.
Yeah.
I get on the treadmill and I'll just walk in heels
Oh
just,
my
just to
gosh.
practice to make sure I don't fall when I'm on stage.
That's impressive.
It's practice. It's-
Yeah. That's why you're at the level you're at right now.
Thank
And all
you.
the good stuff is happening.
Thank you.
Well, I want to make sure that our viewers know, Reyna, for everything you've got going on with the new album out now.
Yeah.
Bad Girl Bible
Bad Girl
Volume
Bible.
1, and Volume 2 will be out next year. Don't know the date yet, but you know, for your shows, for the rhyming, for all the cool merch and everything else you're going to have, probably like those cool cowboy hats like your mom got you. Where do viewers need to go for the website, social media, and everything?
Website, social media. So my website is reynaroberts.com. Social media is the Reyna Roberts, which is TheReynaRoberts. That's me.
Well, congratulations on a great album and
Thank
so
you
many
so much.
incredible songs. I know when you go and you know, check out the music that Reyna's putting out there right now, add in the entire album because there's so many great songs on here. There's no fluff in the album at all. I think all of the songs are incredible. Bad Girl Bible Volume 1, great music, and can't wait to see Reyna Roberts live performing these songs.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.